Beautiful. I actually am glad to see it at this point. I just
this
switched.
Is the sad point.
No, this is the turnover point.
Yeah,
this is the prep, prep point, and you're doing all of those. Yeah. Emily at Heartstrong.
Hello, Heartstrong Farms. Heartstrong is another farmer.
That's where I went. What is yours?
Heartsong Farm.
Hearts.
Yeah. Hold on, I got a little lady yelling for me. Yeah? What's up, lady? Never mind? Okay. Sure.
So beautiful. I'm so glad today is beautiful. So Heartsong. I know that. But for some reason in my mind I spell it Heartstrong. And they're in Staley, right?
Yeah,
because that's where I went. And I'm like, this isn't right. I'm like, she is, first of all, I know you're not that far from me. And, Staley.
I've never been out to her farm.
Oh, really?
No, I've never even met her, actually.
Is there any type of, farm tour that we have?
There's the CF... Oh.
Sounds like a good time.
Yeah, that's the daughters. The CFSA puts on the spring farmers tour.
Okay. Have you done it?
I have. I've done it twice. It's a good way to creep on other farmers.
Oh, to go see what's up?
No,
okay.
Before I was a farmer, it was really great inspiration.
Okay.
And I guess with all the COVID stuff, who knows when that will start firing back up
again. So is it more just for awareness, or do you actually make sales and people buy stuff?
You can. The farmers can do things for sale.
Okay.
Like Woodcrest, we bought a ton of just amazing sausages and different things from them. They'll do their eggs and.
I steal stuff all the time. I stole stuff from your farm. Ideas.
Yeah,
well, you gave them to me. You were generous enough, but there were a few things I was like,
It's just like art. There's no new art under the sun, in a certain extent, and we're all just gathering ideas from each other. And it's the same thing with farming.
It is.
You're going to pick other farmers' brains and see how. Any problem can be solved 20,000 different ways, and it's fun to see how each brain works differently.
That's true.
And so
that is true.
And you learn that some ways work for 2 years, but then
all of a sudden it's not as effective.
Yeah, to reevaluate.
Yeah.
How I trellis my tomatoes this year.
I was looking at this.
Completely different than how I did it last year. And the last 2 years have been based off 2 different farmers' advice.
Okay.
And I love this version. This is more of what Alex Hitt does at Peregrine Farms, and I love it.
Okay.
I won't go back to any other version.
Once you've done this.
Yeah, and this is just hog paneling with T-posts held up with zip ties.
And the T-posts are what, 6 foot, 8 foot?
6 footers.
6 footers, okay.
Yeah, so at the end of season, you just cut your zip ties.
Our zip ties.
The best.
They are the best. Whenever you can't figure out how to make something stick, just get a zip tie.
Yeah, you can fix anything. Forget duct tape. It is.
What are those little pink flowers? I know they're just like wildflowers. What are they called?
It's ladyfinger, and I'm not sure what the scientific name is.
Ladyfinger.
And they're a pain in the butt. They spread everywhere.
They're everywhere.
Yeah.
But they're pretty too.
They're really pretty.
But yeah, they are annoying. Those and the friggin'.
Yep, those are all spiny and big. Yeah, so that's holes where the tomatoes were.
Yeah. So do you eat that?
Popping up. So this will all get pulled here soon. I'm just waiting for the weather to cool off.
So you're gonna take the fence and everything up?
Because next summer the tomatoes would be where the flowers are.
Oh, how often do you rotate?
Every season, and as I expand a block, possibly there'll be a new growing zone where it's grass now. I opened this block up this summer.
Okay.
So this has.
So every season you switch where you have your tomatoes.
Yeah. So the goal is for the tomatoes to never, or any crop to never be in the same bed in the previous 4 years.
Okay.
I know that's kind of luxury to an extent for small
I know
farmers.
when I visited Gaia Herbs, they said 3 generations.
Yeah.
And then they move things.
Yeah. I mean, and if you can get away with further, if you could do like 8 years, even better. But for my scale, that's just not going to happen.
Now, will you put something else where the tomatoes were? Like we
Next year, let's see. I've started planning out. Part of me has thought about flipping the flowers and the tomatoes, and then here's the peppers. And I always keep my tomatoes and peppers together.
Okay, they just like each other?
They like each other. They're in the same family.
Okay.
I'm saying
You
that
still
now. I'm
have
like, I hope they're in the
peppers.
same family. Wrong.
Well, they're
are.
cousins.
They're cousins. They're not related.
Yeah.
They're in the larger umbrella.
Gotcha. Yeah.
So they hang tight together. They can grow side by side just fine. So
Okay.
I keep them together, and because I grow such a large amount, just this crop takes up a whole block for me.
Yeah.
But then up top is where the beans, I do a large variety of dried beans. Did just 100-foot row green beans.
Okay.
How
How did they do?
Decent. I don't know. Something's up with the block, and I need to do a more extensive soil test to see if I don't have something lurking in that soil that I don't.
Where's the
want.
dad one? Oh, I didn't. That's okay. He didn't make it.
Didn't make no. And Debbie, when she came out to do her farm visit, was like, "Why aren't you irrigating your blueberries?" It's like, because it's me and I don't have time to get everything done. She's like, "You need to be irrigating your blueberries."
Like, I'll get
I was like,
put it on the
yeah.
list.
Yeah. Like,
Put it on the
about that. I was like, and I was going to do the blueberry or the berry production class that the extension was going to offer.
Okay.
That they then had to cancel.
Oh, because of COVID.
And I'm like, well, if I'd taken that class, maybe I would have irrigated. So I would have understood the importance of irrigating
But
my
they're
blueberries.
hanging on.
They're doing okay.
They're hanging. All this rain had to have really helped them. It was
Right.
tons of rain.
There's
Like,
tons of rain, enough to
I
keep the
turned my
majority
irrigation off.
of the bushes.
Yeah.
And this area stays a little bit
Wetter. Okay.
than some of the other areas, which is why I didn't want to put this area into vegetable production. And I felt like it was going to be great for the blueberries since they're a shallow.
So I want to have flowers just because they're beautiful.
I'm so happy.
And people can come to the farm and pick a flower.
Yeah.
Do you have flowers in your house all the time? You have to.
This past summer, it was loaded.
You have to.
This whole block was experimental. And I wish you could have seen it in the complete height of everything. So the dahlias, they've really popped now. It takes them all summer to really get going. And these were all started from seed, which is kind of unconventional.
Celosia. Oh, I saw this actually. I went to Howard Allen's Faithful Farms.
I like it.
And he had a random one growing up in, like, I don't know, some celery or something.
Yeah,
And I want to
I'm
say he
saving
said it was
seeds like
celosia.
crazy, so you'll get some of this too.
Oh, this is gorgeous.
It is, and it dries just like that.
It looks
So-
like this.
Yeah, so when it dries, it keeps that pink color.
Oh.
It's so fun
When do you plant these? What time of year?
in the summer.
Look at all the bees.
Yeah, it's how to move them. They tense up and get all disgusting meaty.
They don't bite though, right?
No.
But they're just
Apparently
annoying.
They turn into a really pretty moth. I don't care.
And I'm trying to be, you know, we talk about less discrimination, and I try to give the moth, I'm trying to apply it to other areas of my life and give the moth a fair shot because I'm biased towards the butterfly. But as soon as I find out a caterpillar is attached to a moth, I'm like, I mean.
You know, then when they eat all your crops. Okay.
So for the hibiscus,
For the hibiscus,
roselle or sorrel. Mm-hmm.
Yep. So they'll flower, and then actually you can save the flower buds. I dry these and put them in tea.
Okay.
That one didn't come out.
The buds?
The actual flower buds though. I don't know if there's any more that we need to pull out. Here we go. Sometimes they're dry enough that you can just pull them right out. You can dry these and put them in your tea as well.
Okay.
A little flower bud. But if you were to,
And then you take the seed out.
They'd be tiny. So, and there's not a good example of a large one out here.
And there's a seed in there too, right?
Yep. But at this stage, it's too small.
Okay.
So you can see the seed pod is teeny tiny.
Mm-hmm.
So that's going to grow to be about that size. Sometimes like as big as a hazelnut, really.
Do you keep those seeds?
Yeah, and to grow for the next year.
Mm-hmm.
Which someone asked, could you eat the seeds at the farmer's market? Because I sold a decent amount at the market of the fresh roselle.
Yeah, I don't know.
I
I know you eat the calyx and you can use the flower, but I don't know if you can eat. You know what? I think my friend did tell me. I'm gonna follow up with her. She's
She ate the pod.
I think she said the entire plant was edible.
I know the leaves are really good.
Yeah, I think she said that this was like the whole plant was edible, if I'm not mistaken.
I don't know if the seed pod would actually be any good or not.
If it'll taste, because if it's edible, doesn't mean
that you want to actually
eat it. Yeah. How'd your watermelon do?
Decent. It took them forever though.
Man, yours took forever too.
Yeah. I don't know why.
My watermelon just, at some point, I was just out there talking to him. Like, really?
It took a long time and I don't understand why. This is the second round of dried beans.
Okay.
The first session did pretty good, so I was like, well, I think we have time to try for a second.
Uh-huh.
So why not? So we'll see.
Okay.
All the pods are still green, so I like to let them dry on the plant.
Look at this fella.
And then all the okra. They're huge. So I think you can just let it be overnight and they can get that big. Okra grows so fast.
Grows fast. I love that it and hibiscus are cousins.
Yeah, and once you look at the adult plants, you can totally see it.
Yeah, even their blooms, their flowers, yeah. Mm-hmm. And this is just, this was watermelon.
Yeah, watermelon.
Okay.
And then this row was all green beans, like string beans.
Okay. Is there anything you planted this year that you will not plant next year, and why?
Oh man. I will, that's a really great question, and something that I've been stewing on a lot, because knowing that it's just me and that hopefully I could bring on somebody else next year, the decision is, do I grow my CSA? Do I not grow my CSA and keep it small and then maybe not have to rely on an employee and just grow what I really want to grow, which would be tomatoes, peppers, and flowers. Mm-hmm. But then I'd get pissed to have to go to the farmer's market and buy food from another farmer. Mm-hmm. So I can tell you what I do want to grow again next year, which would be garlic. That was my first year growing it this past year. You like growing garlic? Loved it. So that will go again next year. And I'm upping it from 2 rows that were here, 50-foot rows, to 3 rows that are 100-foot long. Okay. Right here where the silage tarp is? Yeah, where the tarp is. Okay. And what goes in your high tunnel? High tunnel, I'm gonna fiddle with some overwintering flowers. Okay. And then spring CSA stuff. Okay. Okay. And then I'll be bringing things to the spring farmers market at Sanford. Okay. So I need to have produce for spring. To do a farmers market, you really need to be there every week for continuity. People want to see you every week. Mm-hmm. Whether they're buying from you or not, they want to talk to you. They're going to get excited to see you and tell you their story. All right. Denver, I'm gonna get some video. I'm gonna show how this duck keeps bullying you. All right, so this is the bully duck. Denver. Get him. And the bully duck. Get him, Denver. Get him. Keeps bullying Denver, who is gentle by nature and doesn't want confrontation. He's a peaceful guy. Denver's a guy, right? Yeah. Okay, so I thought. You almost had it, Denver. You tell him. Go, Denver. You tell him. I saw it. I got it. I'm gonna post it. I'm gonna let them know. I'm gonna put it. I'm gonna make sure folks know the real story. Denver, I'm gonna make sure the truth gets out. I saw you, and you under the table just to cool out. I know you're not concerned about anything. Say, hold me back. Hold me back. I don't want to regret anything. You good?